Maybe you only want what you can't have. Never seem to be satisfied till it all goes bad. Maybe I should just give someone else a chance. Why should I sit alone and be sad while you fumble the best you ever had? It's not fair to me or my heart. I was forced to start over when we fell apart. Could've had it all, but you pushed me right into his arms. You wanted to break, I wanted to stay. Look what you made me give my love away. You made a mistake. Say that you've changed, but it's too late. I gave my love away. Don't play the victim now. Let's state the facts. You're the one who left. I just quit taking you back. Maybe I should just give someone else a chance. Why should I sit here waiting on you? I am in a forever or never type of love. It's not fair to me or my heart. I was forced to start over when we fell apart. Could've had it all, but you pushed me right into his arms. You wanted to break, I wanted to stay.
Lights off, transparency on. Late night marriage with the richest. Late night marriage with the richest. You need that real talk, this is what you want. Lights off, transparency on. Let's go.
Hey, what's going on? Welcome to Late Night Marriage with the Riches. I'm Damon Rich.
I'm Tamika Rich.
And we are glad to have you here, coming straight to you from the Late Night Marriage studios, the Marriage Refresh studios, the Everything studio. We're glad that you are with us tonight because it is truly lights off, transparency on. Tell a neighbor, tell a friend that the Riches are in the building. We are in the building. So we're looking forward
live.
here live. Um, we're starting a series, and we're going to do this all the way up until our anniversary. When is our anniversary? Is it a Wednesday or Thursday?
No, I thought you was asking about the date.
No.
I was about to say we about not to have an anniversary. Ain't that right, Daniel? Oh, okay. It's on Wednesday.
It's on the 9th. So, of course, we will not be having Late Night Marriage on that day. However, we are in the building. We are super excited, and we're going to just drop. The series is called The Road to 26. 26 years of marriage. You know, we do a anniversary episode every year, but we're going to expand this one out a little bit, talk about different facets of marriage, our marriage, and hope that you can glean some wisdom from that along the way. So we're in the building. We're ready to make that happen. We're going to talk about it. And tonight we're going to kick off with probably a relatively heavy topic in some context. But we're going to talk about three important ingredients.
Mm-hmm.
Three important ingredients to have a healthy marriage. Three important ingredients to have a healthy marriage. So we're going to talk to you about that tonight. Again, grab a neighbor, grab a friend, jump into the comments, participate with us, rock with us tonight, so that we can know you're in the building. We're going to just talk about this stuff and really get down. Okay. So,
Late night marriage with the Riches.
oh, you singing,
The
you singing.
the intro
The
song
intro.
is stuck in my head.
Why?
I don't know. It's catchy. It's a vibe. It's got
It's
that vibe.
it's
Late
definitely a
night
vibe.
marriage with the Riches.
It's definitely a vibe for sure, for sure. We had that custom made for us.
I know,
So
but that's why it's a whole vibe.
it's a whole vibe. So here's what we got. Here's what we got. Late night marriage with the riches. Three important ingredients for a healthy marriage. There's others. This is not exhaustive, but these three are very important. They're very critical. Impotent. Yes. So we're gonna dive into this on tonight. And I'm trying to think of how I want to start this. Let's go story time. Let's start story time. So when we've shared on the channel how we have gone through our various struggles within our marriage.
Right.
And I think we've shared like some of the worst moments of our marriage, or alluded to that full story coming soon. But what I think that maybe we haven't always been abundantly clear on is no marriage goes bad just with one big moment.
Right.
Okay.
For sure.
It doesn't go bad with one big moment. Marriage seems to go sideways little bit at a time. In fact, any relationship for that matter tends to go sideways a little bit at a time.
Yep. Bit by bit.
Bit by bit. And so when our marriage hit the wall and we look back, it was the small things. It's the little bit at a time that just chipped away at it, chipped away at it, chipped away at it. But when the big thing happens, it so often feels like, oh, that was it. But usually that was just the opportunity for the thing. It's like, hey, chip, 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 crack. Right? Because the foundation, the core, had been weakened.
Yeah, sort of like the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah, we like to say that. That's
but
that's
it's something that's been weighing on the camel the whole time, and then it took that one little thing.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you hear like with sometimes a airplane might crash some of the smaller things, and it's because they had to put that one more bag on there.
Right.
That plane can handle so much weight. And it has to take into consideration, oh, I like this. It has to take into consideration in that weight load, whether you have a full tank of gas or not. It has to take into that weight load, how many passengers you have on the plane. It has to take into that weight load, the conditions. It has to take into weight load, all of any luggage or packages that you have. So it has to take a lot into consideration in order to determine if it can fly safely.
Right.
And over time, what the little things do is, because they're so small, you don't notice the amount of weight that collectively is
comes
adding
with
to
each little thing.
Yeah, each little thing. So when I think about this, before we get to the three ingredients, I think about what were the little things that just kept adding up before our plane wrecked. Right. One of those little things, if we go right to the very beginning, is we didn't sit down and get coaching. right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're often taught what goes on in our house, stay in our house, my business is my business.
Right.
But we have since learned that marriage really does take community.
Mm-hmm.
And
It
it
does.
is a certain, one of the reasons we talk, I have friends I talk to, and they're like, man, I could never get on social media and put stuff out as transparent as you are. Now, you helping a lot of people. I just could never do that. And it's like, listen, community
Mm-hmm.
is what strengthens, community is what strengthens nations,
Right.
right? A
Right.
strong community at its core is us helping each other. And sometimes helping looks like sharing our mistakes so
Mm-hmm.
that others
Other
can
people don't.
avoid them
Right.
or they can overcome them quicker.
Mm-hmm.
So we had this, you know, when I start looking at the little things and starting off with, we didn't get the proper coaching about marriage. We
Mm-hmm.
got the religious coaching about marriage
Right. So
without the
no
fullness.
true mentorship.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no true mentorship
Mentorship
when it
for
came down
marriage
to marriage
or counsel or good counsel.
or good counsel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so all of that's important,
Right.
right? All of that is super, super important. But even as I think about that,
Mm-hmm.
even as I think about that,
Right.
you know, go ahead.
And the important thing about that is the little bit that some people do get or we did get, not to say all of it was, but make sure it's not broken, that it's solid
Mhm.
information and solid coaching and solid mentorship
Yes.
and not based on other people's brokenness. I'll put it that way.
That's a good way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good way to put it. So I'm gonna ask a question,
Mm-hmm.
because somebody might come and they might hear our story and say, well, how is it that what y'all are telling us is not from your brokenness?
Right, right. Um, and you're and you're right. But we've taken the time to heal. We've taken the time to become aware. We've taken the time to get counsel and
Mm-hmm.
therapy to help us on the journey
Yeah.
for healing and to continue on in the process. Because
Yeah.
even we don't sit here and say, oh, we are completely 100 or healed, or we still don't have problems, adversity, different things in the marriage,
Mm-hmm.
or some forms of brokenness, but we can identify it a little sooner and
Mm-hmm.
become aware to say, hey, that's the issue. Let's work on this or
Mm-hmm.
fix this. The things within personally as well as together or collective.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Right. And that's super important. I think it's definitely important when you're looking at it and you're thinking about, hey, you were broken. Now tell me the actual work, not this
Right.
surface level work, superficial
Mm-hmm.
work you did, but
Mm-hmm.
tell me about the actual work you did
Mm-hmm.
in order to really overcome.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that that's super important.
It is.
Super important. I
Yeah.
agree 100%. So here's something else I would say I would go down the path of. So we have the we had the, you know, the coaching that we didn't get.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get into, you know, just the financial woes and struggles we went through.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't help. Those are
Right.
little chips.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Another layer.
right. You
Mm-hmm.
have children.
Yep.
That can be a chip because it adds to the financial pressures. It adds to a lot of stuff. As much as a joy as they are, you want to give them the world, and
Mm-hmm.
you're really not in a position. Then you have the losses that we had, car, house, jobs,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it's little bit by little bit. And in that little bit, those little pebbles start to add a lot of weight
Right.
to your marriage. And not only does it add a lot of weight to your marriage, it starts to build a wall between the both of you if you let it.
It does. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So here's the 3 ingredients to make a healthy marriage. The 3 most important, the three important, not 3 most, but 3
right.
important ingredients to make a healthy relationship, and then or a healthy marriage, and then we'll tell you the why.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So first is forgiveness.
Yep.
You have to have a posture
Mm-hmm.
of forgiveness And I'm talking about that kind of forgiveness that's in the Bible. How
Right.
many times shall I forgive my brother? 70 times 7. You got to have like a posture of forgiveness.
Right. You
Now,
do.
forgiveness is not an instantaneous thing because we're human. Forgiveness is a process for many of us because we never learned how to do forgiveness right.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? So forgiveness is a process for a lot of us. So I have to get to a place of understanding really like what forgiveness is and then go through the process of forgiveness. Forgiveness does not mean that consequences don't happen.
Right.
Forgiveness does not it does not mean that you just instantly go back to where you was and automatically trust is restored and all those things.
Right.
Forgiveness is a process, right? But you got to have it.
Yeah.
It's got to be a posture, a prominent posture in your marriage has to be forgiveness. Yeah. And I think that again,
that's the main, yeah.
Yeah, well, I think because we weren't necessarily taught forgiveness,
right,
properly, we were taught the fairy dust version of
okay.
forgiveness.
And that's crazy because we both came up as believers or Christians, right?
Yes.
And so that's one of the things that got preached a lot to us about forgiveness and thrown out there. So we assumed we knew what it meant and how to forgive. And one of the things when you get to this, or as we talk about forgiveness for me, and I've always wondered about this, and it's till I did my own intimate time with God about forgiveness and how it really works and how he really wants is about that in the statement that makes me cringe sometimes, forgive but don't forget, or I don't forget. And that's not accurate.
Not how that go.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if it stay in your heart, if it stay in your head, it's gonna get back to your heart.
Exactly. And then why would you want to hold on to that?
Yeah.
Like in my declutter thing, I talk about that. But why would you even want to hold on to it? Because all it does is stay there, like you say, and make room for so many different things to build up.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it festers.
Yeah, it festers. Yeah, that's what it does. It festers. And so when you think you're over it or you're getting past it, if it comes right back and you remember it in the same way, it starts the process all over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Resentment. That's what the word I was looking for.
It builds up resentment. And for true forgiveness is a releasing of resentment.
Yeah.
I gotta release the resentment. I gotta release the desire for revenge and vengeance. I gotta release the desire to hurt and to punish.
Right.
Right. That's what true forgiveness really gets into. And I think it's just super important.
Yeah.
Yeah. So forgiveness is an important ingredient. You have to have a posture of forgiveness in your marriage. But the second thing you have to have in your marriage is a posture, and you can't have forgiveness without actually these next two ingredients. You have to have a posture of mercy.
Yeah.
Mercy withholds wrath that you may be justified in issuing out.
Yep.
It withholds the response that you might be justified in saying. Mercy.
Yep.
You cannot have forgiveness or have a posture of forgiveness in your marriage if you have no mercy.
Right.
Right? When we look at God, it says that his love endures forever. It talks about his mercy enduring forever.
Yeah.
Because if his mercy didn't endure, if he didn't have long suffering, when God starts talking about the fruit of the Spirit and he's telling us all these things, he's saying to be like me, you have to exercise these things. Because if I didn't have long suffering,
Right, we would be over.
It'd be over.
Yeah.
Right? And some may say, well, he didn't suffer long. He had the flood. He suffered as long as he could with that generation. You've got to have forgiveness, and forgiveness has to have mercy. So those are first two ingredients. Forgiveness has to be a posture in your marriage. And let me say this. forgiveness doesn't have to be a posture in your marriage where you're just looking like, what am I forgiving? What am I forgiving? Like you're opening the door because they know
Right.
you're forgiving. Because again, forgiveness doesn't mean there are not consequences.
Right. And it doesn't mean you don't set boundaries or go forward differently than you did
Yeah.
before, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Depends on the situation.
there's this posture of forgiveness, but I also have to have a posture of not only in forgiveness, but I have to have, in order to have true forgiveness, I've got to have an
Mercy.
ingredient of mercy.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the third ingredient that I have to have. I have to have grace.
Yeah.
Grace comes down to that thing of, we like to say it's unmerited favor, but it is a gift.
Mm-hmm.
I'm extending something to you that you do not deserve.
Mm-hmm.
For example, you let me use us as an example. So money has been my weak point within our marriage, being even trustworthy with the money. Tamika doesn't have to extend grace or mercy towards that, but if she does, if she doesn't, she'll never be able to forgive me when I've fallen short.
Right.
Right?
Right.
I don't necessarily deserve her extending that grace and saying, "Hey, babe, I'm still trusting you to lead us financially, to do whatever financially, include me in whatever." She can easily, but because of mercy, because of grace, because of forgiveness, and that grace, I didn't earn it. Right?
Right.
I didn't earn it. It was like I'm making an active choice to extend something to you that your actions hadn't said you've earned yet. I hope you get there. I'm praying for you to get there, but you hadn't earned it. But I'm trying to create space for you to get there.
Right.
Because that's what grace does.
It gives us the opportunity.
Yeah. It creates the opportunity.
Yeah.
Forgiveness, mercy, and grace. I can't have true forgiveness if I don't have grace and mercy. If God only extended us grace and then said he forgives us without extending us mercy, then we're not going to feel forgiven.
Right. We won't.
Right?
Right.
And this is the thing about mercy. Mercy may still come with the lashes, but you may not get all of the lashes that you should have gotten. Right?
Right.
Okay. So.
Right. And that just goes back to what you said, mercy comes, but you still have the consequences of whatever it is. Because you're saying that, and I think sometimes people think, oh, when we're granted mercy, like you say, that I don't get any licks.
Yeah, I don't get any licks.
Right.
Yeah.
Versus 2, and I was gonna get 5 or 10. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't get any licks. Any of them.
Right. And we're just saying licks is not
It's whatever it is. Right? But it gives you the opportunity to work toward. If God didn't give us mercy and grace and forgiveness, it would give us no opportunity to work towards reconciliation.
Right.
So it's hey, what's going on, Pastor Joe? It is so.
Hello.
If we're going to have a healthy marriage, we have to have forgiveness, grace, and mercy. Let me tell you why. Let's go with this first thing. When we extend forgiveness, grace, and mercy, it builds trust and emotional safety.
Yep.
Why? Because I know you're going to make room for me, right? You're going to, I know you are giving me the opportunity. I know when you could have gone off, now I really do have a belief that you love, that you care, that you feel a certain way towards me.
Right.
And I'm sorry that it had to go to this for me to feel those things, but I didn't know for whatever the reason may be, right? But when you extend grace and mercy and forgiveness in your marriage, it builds trust and emotional safety. Somebody may be sitting out there saying, well, if I have to forgive them, they haven't done something to violate my trust. And they may have.
Right.
Right?
And you have to rebuild that trust.
And you have to rebuild it. That's one
But
of the
it still
consequences.
gives you the space to do it.
Yes.
It gives you the space to do
And
it. When you talk about that safe space or place, it gives you that to be, hey, I can still be who I am, and they're giving me the grace and mercy that I need to grow, get past this, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Most definitely.
And become the better me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Here's the second thing. We're gonna give you 5 things. We're gonna get out of here this night. Here's the second thing.
You know, you just sound preachy, right?
Yeah. Hey, Pastor got one more. Come on, we're gonna close. I'm getting ready to close. It promotes personal growth.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna even say it this way. It removes the pressure of perfection.
Mm-hmm.
Or the need to feel that I'm perfect, or the
Right.
need to feel that I need to be everything to you.
Mm-hmm.
When you extend grace and mercy and forgiveness, it promotes personal growth. Check what God does to us.
Mm-hmm.
Every time he forgives us, he gives us an opportunity to learn our lesson and grow.
Yeah.
When he gives us mercy, I was thinking about this today. It's easy to thank God for all of the things he protected you from, and you think about all the external things.
Right.
But God, thank you for protecting me from the internal things.
Ooh, that's so true.
Right?
Yeah.
Sometimes when I could have really messed it up, God, thank you for protecting me from the internal thing. Thank you for covering me and giving me an opportunity to grow.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I ain't gonna go there because that's church. That's church right there. So, but when you extend grace, mercy, and forgiveness in your marriage, it promotes personal growth.
Yeah.
Next thing it does is it strengthens resilience.
That's a good one.
You not only your resilience between each other,
Right.
but as y'all grow tighter, it strengthens your resiliency.
Right.
To bounce back and get through things together.
Yeah, as a team. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Grace and mercy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Grace and mercy.
Because it's really hard to feel like you're on the same team a lot of times if these things aren't there and you're not giving each other those spaces to grow personally.
Mm-hmm.
When you don't give that, and you always have a sense of resentment and stuff like that, because then it's like we're not really on the same team.
Yeah.
And so then you're either going tit for tat or not covering them like you should. Yeah, because then you're leaving parts and exposed and going, oh, I really don't care, because of the way you feel about them at the time.
How you feel about it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It strengthens resilience, and resilience is that snapback.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we come back stronger.
Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
We get better.
Right.
Each time we forgive, and each time we extend grace to each other, and each time we extend mercy to each other. And contrary to popular belief, it's not one-sided. Sometimes it can feel like it.
Right.
But it's not one-sided.
Right.
It's not one-sided. Okay. Let me give you this fourth one. We got one more. It encourages unconditional love.
Mm-hmm.
I would even say it this way. On top of this, not only does it encourage unconditional love, it strengthens and builds it.
Mm-hmm.
You really do love me in spite of myself.
Right.
You really are. Husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church and gave himself for her.
Right.
You really are willing to lay down your life for me.
Mm-hmm.
And by laying down your life, it's not just about dying, but there's sometimes you have to put yourself aside. if you went into self-preservation mode, you wouldn't have forgave. If you were in self-preservation mode, you wouldn't extend grace. You wouldn't extend mercy, or you would extend conditional forgiveness. You would extend conditional grace. You would extend conditional mercy.
Mm-hmm. That's a true really love that's in depth, because you always begin with that surface kind of love. When you go,
Yeah.
oh, I'm in love, and
Yeah.
you've known each other 2-3 days or whatever, and it's love, love, love till it's not right. And
It's love, love, love
till it's
until it's
not.
not.
And
Yeah.
then what really grows over that time is true love, and your definition and understanding of love changes over time, and then you're able to really truly understand God's love.
Yeah.
The more you do it, the more you practice it, the more you grow into it. And so a lot of the things, that's why a lot of times when you see couples that's been married for a number of years or a long period of years, like all the small things that used to that if you're a young couple still gets under your skin and makes you mad, and they go like, how do you just like overlook that or this, because they know it's something more than that,
Yeah.
and those things really don't matter at the end of the day when
Yeah.
you have a sense of this love, or you grow that type of love
Yeah.
over the years. Yeah,
Yeah.
then the small things, and the what we always run to, the taking out the trash, and you'd be like, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's certain things that, not that it doesn't bother you, not that you don't need to address it,
Right.
but it's how you address it and what amount of how you let it impact
Impact
your
you.
approach
Hmm. Yeah,
towards your spouse.
definitely how it impacts you, and then is it like worth it? Not
Yeah.
if it still bothers you, but what's more, and you see something it, other things are more important than that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
then you choose, because sometimes there may be that thing, and I think you talked about this one time where the wife kept putting the pepper on the eggs, and the husband
Yeah.
was like, I don't like pepper. I don't want no pepper on my eggs.
Yeah.
Over time, sometimes those things, if they don't learn the lesson, or they still have the bad habit,
Yeah.
you not away with you.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
and it's like, hey, people get divorced about it. You sneeze too much, I want a divorce. Right?
Right.
You snore, I want a divorce.
Mhm.
Like, it's we give up on marriage too easy over trivial things. And I've been seeing a lot of videos here lately about people who have regretted divorce after the fact, and a lot of them say, I wish I would have fought harder.
Mhm.
Now I understand.
Right.
Now I understand what it is that I was actually missing.
Mhm.
Right?
Mhm.
Did you send me the video? No, I don't think you sent it to me. Oh, no, you didn't.
I didn't.
I remember who sent it to me. Oh, surprise, surprise. You didn't
Surprise!
send
I
it to
seen
me.
you enough of them though.
You do. But it was a powerful thing. And oh man, I'm gonna see if I can find it. Y'all probably won't be able to hear it. Y'all probably won't be able to hear it, but I'm gonna see if I can find it. And I'll see if I can play it. Let's see. Here it is. Let me see.
What's the biggest mistake that you think people make in relationships?
One of them is thinking that the things that your partner is and does that are wonderful are normal by the time you have been experiencing them for a long time.
Wait, what? What do you mean?
The things that your partner does that are actually wonderful, the
Okay.
things that they do that are their special qualities, the things that make your life better, more joyful, more magical, easier, the things that support you, all those little things that are magic, you start to think those are just normal things that are to be expected, or that anyone would do in a relationship, because you've had so much distance from any other relationship that your memory now has nothing to compare it to. People have a rude awakening very often when they go and date someone else, and they realize all the things that were wonderful about their partner were not normal. They were wonderful things about their partner. We do that in all of life. Human beings, in some ways, one of our greatest traits is that we're able to normalize things.
Yeah.
Like, we can go as an entire world during a pandemic, we can like normalize radically new conditions in ways that are truly inspirational. But it actually gets mutated into a very bad effect sometimes in relationships and in other areas of life where that normalization of what is wonderful can make us think that it's normal.
What's the biggest mistake that you
Yeah.
So
That's so true.
yeah, so you get out there and you think about it, and people they just leave for trivial reasons. They don't give it time to build up that unconditional love, because you think, oh, it's the love I'm looking for is really out there, and then you walk out on the love that you really wanted. It was there, but
Mhm.
you just didn't want to cultivate it.
Right. That's what I was gonna say. They think it comes overnight,
Oh
and it
no,
doesn't. Yeah.
it doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
Yeah, because in our mind, a lot of times we enter into it and we can speak to this that, hey, it's going to be this certain way just because my expectation of it is going to be this way. And he's this person that he's really not, but I made him this person in my mind. Same vice versa.
Mhm.
I'm this person that he made up in his mind or whatever. And then reality kicks in and you go, oh no. But you go, we can be, and it's the work that you have to do and put in to become that.
Yeah, to
Yeah.
become it, to become it, for sure, for sure. Let's get to this last one. Get to this last one. Last one is here. Encourages communication.
Mm.
When you extend grace and mercy, there should and grace, mercy, and forgiveness,
Yeah.
there should be some conversation. And this is where I think we get it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Bible says this. It says, uh, if your basically if your brother commits sin against you, or um, commits fault against you, leave your gift at the altar
All right.
and go and be reconciled to them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, reconciliation is a process.
Right.
I can remember, and Pastor Joe was on here a little earlier, but we were having lunch one day, and he said something that stuck with me ever since he said it. And he kind of encapsulated something in a way that just helped me. I've always kind of felt it, but the way he put it, and this is how I think people feel um, about forgiveness. He said, people want reconciliation without having to go through the restorative process.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to think about that. People want reconciliation without having to go through the restorative process.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you how crazy that sounds in terms of if you want reconciliation without going through the restorative process.
Mm-hmm.
That's like going to buy an old beat up house,
Right.
that's ready for a fix and flip,
Right.
and I want it to look like a luxury home
Mm-hmm.
without tearing out a single wall. I want it to look like a luxury home
Mm-hmm.
without having to redo the scuffed up and broken tile in the bathroom. I want it to look like a luxury home
Mm-hmm.
without having to redo the roof and the AC. I want it to look and feel like a luxury home without putting any new paint on it. I just want the final outcome. I do not want to go through the process.
Right. It's like coming into it and then just wanting to set up shop or live how it is
Yeah.
without redoing the things that really makes the foundation solid and the
Mhm.
walls and all of the things that the home that we built that you
Mhm.
talk about. What are you gonna live in? What you built? And so if you come in there and you're not restoring it properly, you're only setting yourself up for damage in
Yeah.
the future. Yeah.
And this is the crazy thing. Ooh, when you said that, this is the real crazy thing about that. Some people will do all of the cosmetic work,
Mm-hmm.
but they won't do the foundational work.
Right.
How many times have we watched on HGTV where they were restoring the home
Mm-hmm.
and they were looking at it, and when they went to do the floor, they found out that the subfloor was rotten, and they found out that they were going to have to go and jack something up, and they were going to have to restore this, put in new footers. They found out that they were going to have to remove a rotten beam, and it was going to cost more money, and it was going to wreck their budget. But they would always say, it is better to invest this money here.
Mm-hmm. Right. Then to just cover it up.
than to just cover it up.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm afraid that in too many marriages,
Mm-hmm.
people have become content with the cosmetic work.
Mm-hmm.
They do cosmetic forgiving. They extend cosmetic grace. They extend cosmetic mercy.
Mm-hmm. They won't fix the leak.
They
Maybe
won't.
because it's just small. You know,
Yes.
put something else over it, wrap a piece of tape on it, temporary, but you won't
Ooh.
fix the leak.
See, you keep taking it there. You
Yeah.
keep taking it. Hey, what's
Hey,
going on,
Angela, happy
Angela?
Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. You keep taking it there. Here's the thing. Here's the thing that really gets me. Sometimes when we be watching HGTV,
Mm-hmm.
what was really interesting is sometimes that rot. You know how that rot happened?
Mm-hmm.
Was a leak,
Over time.
small leak over time that no one knew about.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They didn't even know it was there. So when
Right.
you was talking earlier about going to get the therapy and doing the work,
Mm-hmm.
it is a small leak that no one knew was there.
You weren't aware of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until something happened that required you to go into, you weren't even looking for that.
Mhm.
You stumbled on it
Mm-hmm.
because you had to fix something else that you could no longer ignore.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
I could no longer ignore this, so now I got to fix it. And when I opened up the wall, oh my goodness, I didn't realize I had these other problems.
Right. Yeah. When I sit on the couch, when I start talking, when I start communicating, then I become aware that, oh, this isn't the only issue or the problem, or this is not where this actual issue stem from.
Right.
Yeah.
This isn't the origination of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Encourages communication. I like that.
encourages communication.
Mhm.
Because if
'Cause
you're going to have forgiveness, you're going to have mercy, you're going to have grace,
Mhm.
you got to talk about it.
Right. But that's the thing. A lot of times people have communication issues. We know it's like in the top 3. And then a lot of it is, oh, we just won't communicate or talk, over a certain period of time. But these are all the things that lead up to having those good conversations and
Yeah.
that communication, the one you desire. But if you just assume what you're doing and you're not doing it right or actually working on it,
Yeah.
it doesn't promote or get you to the desired communication that you really want.
Yeah.
Because so many times it's like, oh, they won't talk, or I want to talk about this or communicate about this, but they either have that wall up, they're shut off, oh, I can't share that with them. I don't want to be vulnerable. I don't want to be transparent because they feel a certain way.
Yeah.
So if you don't follow these steps, then it's hard to have that communication that you really desire and want. Yeah. I mean, you may talk about, something for the kids. You may talk about a bill, surface level stuff.
Yeah.
But really true, deep, good conversations.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so important.
Yeah.
I think about, as you were saying that, is 2 words that is coming to mind: implosion and explosion. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the marriage explodes,
Right.
meaning it can no longer be contained,
Mm-hmm.
and it just go. And I, when I was saying that, when you did that, I think about, when you have the kid, everyone who has ever had a child has had a blowout, at least one.
Right.
That baby just let it go. That baby gut was so full, that baby let it go. It's all up their back and everything. That's that explosion. You can't hold it no more.
Right.
It cannot be contained.
Mm-hmm.
The diaper, that Huggies did all it could.
Right.
But them doggone green beans won. Them
Them
green
sweet
beans won. Them
potatoes.
sweet potatoes won, baby. They say, Huggies, take that. You could put a Huggies and a pamper and some duct tape on it. I'ma still get up their back and mess up that onesie.
Right. Oh, I'm laughing because who was the worst with that, and it drove me crazy. DJ all the time. It was like,
No,
oh,
it's
you,
not. My
yeah,
goodness.
he was, especially when he went to work with me. It's like, oh, here it is again. You would mess up that onesie. It's like, what is going on with you, boy?
Don't talk about my good.
Oh, okay, I won't talk. It was him though.
Listen. I thought it was Rudy.
DJ had quite a few of those.
A few blowouts, huh?
Yeah.
Interesting. So then here go you have that blowout. So that's the explosion.
Mm-hmm.
You held it in and you've just filled it up and it couldn't contain anymore. Your
Right.
marriage couldn't contain it anymore and it spilled over. But then there's that implosion.
Mm.
Implosion is when it doesn't go out, it goes in. So some of your health problems, some of the
Yeah.
challenges you're having are all of the stuff that you're having holding in because you're not exercising grace, you're not
Mhm.
exercising mercy, you're not exercising forgiveness. So you're not having those conversations.
Right.
And when you're not having those conversations, it's just building up, building up, building up. And it shows up in heart attacks. It shows
Yeah.
up in strokes. It
Stress,
shows up in
anxiety.
stress, anxiety. It shows up in irritable bowel. It shows
Mhm.
up in so many different ways because your body is saying it is not good for you to hold all this in.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. You gotta learn how to release it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So listen, as we get ready to get out of here, if you want a healthier marriage, if you're not already doing this, make sure you're exercising true forgiveness, that you're exercising true grace, you're exercising true mercy. You're not just doing the cosmetic stuff
Yeah.
in your marriage. And if it's unhealthy now, if you exercise it right, I think it can revive your health, the health of your marriage.
Mm-hmm.
I think it can do it.
Yeah.
Guys, that's all we have for you tonight, and we will see you on the next episode. Remember, it's always lights off, transparency on when you're on Late Night Marriage with the Riches, and we'll see you on the next episode. God bless.
We love you for real. And good night.